So the hyper casual is a genre that I really like because that shows you how to get people's attention, how to get everybody's attention in a similar concept. But in the business wise, it's limiting because if you're relying on in-app ads and within a privacy-centered world, it's limiting.
Are people predictably irrational and can use behavioral psychology to grow mobile games? Welcome to Mobile Heroes Origin Stories, where we go one-on-one in depth with mobile marketing experts. And today we have somebody who's pretty special. And I think he's been mainlining coffee all day. So it's going to be great. We're chatting with the head of marketing at a publisher with more than 1.4 billion downloads and an approach to user acquisition that leans heavily on behavioral economics. Peggy, who is it?
Well, we have today Mert Ersöz. He is head of marketing at MagicLab Game Technologies. MagicLab designs, develops, publishes hyper-casual and casual games, best known for some hits, John. As you said, 1.4 billion downloads, best known for Fidget Trading 3D, which I knew, Text and Drive, Destiny Run, published with Voodoo, Run Race 3D, Fun Race 3D. He loves the best of list here. Yes. And Mert is not just loving his games, he's an all-around talent. As you said, he started in behavioral economics, then he moved into gaming, where he puts his deep knowledge of human behavior to work in marketing games. And as he puts it, and as you said it, understanding predictably irrational behavior sometimes provides benefits when you are publishing games. And we're going to find out all about that with you, Mert. Welcome.
Hey, guys.
I'm super pumped about this. I have interviewed Dan Ariely, who wrote Predictably Irrational. So the book actually on that. So that is very cool. He's a super interesting dude. Half of his face was bearded, half of his face wasn't. It was a bit of a challenge thing. And I think he's also had some injuries in the past. But let's talk about mobile marketing and maybe kind of your start about being irrational or predictive or whatever. What was your kind of eureka moment that triggered the move from studying behavioral economics to applying that to marketing games?
I was doing a master's course on behavioral economics, and then the academy started to be like a little bit limiting to me because it's not like scalable, and also like limiting in terms of the potential and the impact you could make if you're not then, of course. So, and I like the games, like since I was like a child, I like the games. No, but like who doesn't like games? And my friends, my childhood friends was already working in the field. So they were developing games. And at that time, I noticed that there was a job for me in the market. So that was my eureka moment. So it's when they said like there is waterfall optimizations and UA activities and stuff. And I just said, wow, let's do it.
It's perfect because I think we've often seen that the people who do best in so many different disciplines, especially mobile and mobile marketing, start out somewhere completely different. They might have been a developer. They might have been in behavioral economics. If you look back, would there be anything that you do differently if you're starting all over in marketing again?
I mean, spend less time on my projects on behavioral economics, like not the reading part, the understanding part, that's okay. But the projects they were time consuming, and I would go all in to mobile marketing, like way earlier.
Nice.
So you've had a string of top ranking games. And you've had views into what works, what doesn't work. What strategies do you think worked best to drive those installs at the start?
Oh, what I think is like what's the most practical is the most theoretical, I think. So you don't have the opportunity to make 101 mistakes. So you have to keep the fundamentals, and also like following the trends, and also leaders is like becomes handy on that one. So it's like you don't have to figure out everything yourself. You have to understand what the top guys are doing. So that was actually what we did on those. And also we worked with great partners such as like Voodoo, good job, and they brought us some portion of that downloads. That helped too.
Mm-hmm. So having a good blueprint, watching the market leaders, learning from the best. What made the biggest performance difference in your UA strategy?
Mostly it's on the paying attention to details. Like it's generally is hidden within some little details, because the fundamentals are like the top market guys, they don't do mistakes, and they just, not everybody is getting that much of downloads or potential. So you have to pay attention to details and test as much as you can and fail even more. So it's like if you're not failing enough, you can't say that you tried enough. That's the way to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Having talked to some of those biggest mobile developers in the world, I kind of think that they do make some mistakes, but then they have some funds that cover over it, or they learn from those mistakes really quickly.
Like I said, like you have to do mistakes, but not the same mistakes over and over again.
That is true. That is definitely true. I have to ask, because you're the type, Mert, I can feel it. 1.4 billion. It's impressive. There's got to be some hacks that got you there. What's your favorite or most unconventional hack that helped you scale and reach those results?
I don't want to like disappoint you, but like there's no hack. Like there isn't. It is hidden in the product and the market conditions, and you cannot really fight with the data. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. And you have to be always trying to understand your users' behaviors and try to make them actionable points out of them. So I don't think that's a hack, but if you do it correctly, I don't think there's a limit to reach and like battle with the top guys, but we'll see. I'm not sure.
I love it. I love it because some marketers swear by finding that hack, finding that glitch in the matrix, finding that little thing that nobody else knows about at the App Store or Google Play, and you tweak that and you tweak this and boom, something happens. And sometimes those things work. Absolutely. Right. And sometimes they're amazing, but there's so many other marketers who are chasing those every single day and every single week and forget the fundamentals of, hey, make a game that's fun to play.
Exactly.
Do some testing and market it and get better every day. Right. So I love that advice. Let's talk about retention a little bit as well as acquisition, right? Hey, acquisition is wonderful. Everybody likes filling the bucket. Nobody likes it if the bucket just leaks again as fast as you filled it. What's your approach, and how have you worked to convert those installs into engaged users who keep coming back into the game?
You have to understand the behavior. That's like how I like to think. So it's, if you try the right tests to those users and try to understand the data without like getting in love with your ideas, getting in love with what you think is fun, what you think is great, and like sticking with them. Instead, you have to listen to the users and make the changes they want. Sometimes it might be like, let's say nobody likes watching an ad, right? Like nobody. But if you take away the rewarded ads from a game, and then you can just watch your reviews and ratings going down, because users want that type of opportunity to become more engaged with the game, to invest in the game and find ways within the game. And the other thing is what I think is this is a full funnel that you have to follow. So it will start with the first impression and ends with the churn. Hopefully not, but like, it will someday. So
realism.
you have to paying attention to every conversion point, not only in the game, but also in the creatives too. So if you give them a false ad, you have to expect some of those people stop playing at a certain point. but it might be profitable. We are doing it, but still, you have to expect and see the results and act through them. Don't get in love with your ideas. Just rely on the data.
I like that as well. Looking at every touch point, it has to be a journey, looking at every aspect of the user journey, every aspect of user behavior as you do. We talked about the user journey now. Let's talk about your own journey, Mert, because you have an interesting one indeed, because you are in the middle of a seismic change, right? You're moving from hyper casual to casual. Why are you doing that?
I think it's because we think we can do it. That's first things first. So we believe we can manage it, we can get through it. So the hyper casual is a genre that I really like, because that shows you how to get people's attention, how to get everybody's attention in a similar concept. But in the business wise, it's limiting, because if you're relying on in-app ads and within a privacy-centered world, it's limiting. And also, why not stepping up the game? So this is the main aim, because you cannot talk about hundreds of millions of dollars in hyper casual, mostly, generally. There are, but like in the casual market, sky is the limit. So that's why, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot going on there. You said yourself, it's not what it used to be. It went from hyper casual to hybrid casual. Now you're just looking at the casual part, right? And changing genres is really a switch. It's a big deal. First of all, to make the decision, you're convinced. It's like, yes, we can do this. But what else should app publishers be thinking about or asking themselves before making that decision?
Oh, there are lots of them. I think everything is going to change when you're changing from hyper casual to casual. It's because the monetization model, your UA strategy, everything is going to change. Like, let me go into a bit more detail. On the monetization side, since your product has changed, there will be no short-term cash flow, no short-term profits. You will be aiming for a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years of payoff windows, and that your game should be make users engage with that game for many years, because that's how you make profits, and that's how you should be designing your UA strategy too. So, and on the other end, when you're talking about UA strategy, you'll be starting to looking at payers, right? Anybody can watch ads above 13 years old, but who got the money to pay for a game? You have to have the extra money. That's the least thing that will limit your audience. That will be changing everything, because you will be start talking about plus 35 woman audience, and that will make you end up with different kind of creatives and different kind of creative strategy. As I said, that's a full funnel, and this is still a full funnel for casual too. And when you're aiming for 15 years old and 40-year-old ladies, your creatives should be different. That's
really?
I believe so.
Well, this is super interesting, actually, because this is kind of a massive shift. It's not just for you, because you see an opportunity for games that last longer and have more value and can be more fun and generate more revenue. It's also something that's happening across the industry, because as we've got privacy safe attribution, as we lose audiences, as we lose retargeting capability, it's just a different reality. And it's hard to snipe high value users in hyper casual games. And so that changes some of your ad monetization. And it's hard to acquire users as well that you are known, you can acquire them cheaply, or high value ones that you spend more for. So it's changing all that stuff. How's that changing your marketing as you switch genres?
It's like even the metrics will going to change. So it's we are keeping looking at ARPDAU, IMPDAU, and generally short-term LTVs like day zero and stuff. But when you're aiming for a long-term retention and long-term monetization model, your metrics will become like IAPs and payer users. And you in the case that you don't know who are those, and you cannot really build up a strategy around them because you don't really know who they are. So that will, on the marketing side, there will be like more than ever uncertainty. But you have, what I think is like, when you don't make one-on-one mistakes and keep focusing on the fundamentals, such as you have to make the game really good, and then you can rely on that product. And that's the aim. So I'm not trying to leave it on the game designers and product managers. I'm not trying to say that, but like that is important.
I'm not a bad marketer. You're a bad product developer.
Exactly. That's not my fault. I just got you users. You couldn't monetize.
If that game wasn't so crappy, we'd have sold.
Exactly. And on the UA side, yes, there are less data from the same people with a changing world, with a changing manner, but it is still the same. And like I said, on the fundamentals, that's not only an attribution issue, but you have to be creative on attribution and on the building up audiences with some potentials and other metrics to come up with. And it's, at the end of the day, it's less deterministic. Like not that the world has gone to hell or something. It's just deterministic models are not working anymore. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go creative.
Wonderful.
So you love change, and I want to get back to that. Not only is it shifting genres, hyper casual to casual, you're also balancing self-publishing with working with studios, including Voodoo. I just wonder how you're managing that, because that's not just games, that's the entire structure. You're going to be independent and self-publishing on this side. And on this side, you're going to get along with studios. How does that work?
That is rather easy when you work with the right partners. So but
it's like marriage is easy when you pick the right spouse. You know, what's the big problem? Why is the divorce rate so high? It's easy. Just pick the right spouse.
Yeah,
what's
really.
The problem?
There's nothing to that.
It like the answer lies in the team. I think the harmony should be there, and when you're surrounded with hard worker people, and when they share the same passion with you, that's like you can do this or any other thing. If that's not working, you couldn't do just pick one of them, and you couldn't do it either. So I think that is the thing. That's not the structure. That's not the other stuff, but that lies in the team and hard working.
I think what Mert is saying is that you spend some time dating potential partners before you, give them a ring.
Exactly. So, but on the other hand, the Voodoo teams and Good Job Games teams, they're monsters, and that somehow triggers us to benchmark our data with theirs and try to be better than them. That takes some work. So I think we're not that bad, but those guys are monsters.
If it was only that simple, as you said, choosing the right partner, but that doesn't work in real life. Did for John and myself, but it doesn't often. I'd love to have some sort of checklist for finding that partner, and even knowing how you can even think about self-publishing, because a lot of companies I'm talking to, they're like, yeah, we're going to self-publish, we're going to be independent, and then we're going to be dependent. Again, you have to ask yourself some questions, tough questions. What are some of those?
I think You have to be sure that your partner is going to work with you in the line of your passions and your aims. They, in the means that if they're not sharing the data that you're asking for, or if they see you as competitors and compete with you in a hostile way, that's not going to work. It's you have to be working with a partner that tries to make you better in order to make a better partner for themselves. And on the self-publishing side, you also have you also meet with their requirements, and you have to deliver. If it's in the mobile marketing, it's all about performance, and if you're delivering, everything is cool and achievable. And if you're not, like with the best partners, there are studios that cannot really work, and like that's all about performance and delivering the results. That's the main thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. When things are going well, it's hard to have a bad partner. When things are going poorly, hey, yeah, they're in it for the long haul and they're going to help us. Well, Mert, let's end here. We always ask for top 3 tips from our guests. So let's have your top 3 tips for mobile marketers in gaming.
So my first will be, there is always room for improvement. So keep testing and fail enough. So that's the first one. And secondly, I think the most important thing is that you don't have to really figure it out all by yourself. You have to try to understand the leaders, what the best guys are doing and what they're interested in. And you have to understand why are they doing so, and copy it until you make it. Actually, that's my second advice. And the third will be the team is the king. So like anything else, if everybody is smarter and better than you in the team, you have to keep working up. So that's you have to be sure that you are the dumbest person in that room, but still be sure about you are trying your best.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, Mert, I have to tell you something. You are the reason why Peggy and I do what we do, because sometimes we do these shows and, it's a bit of work, right? But we live for the shows where it's fun, where we love talking to somebody who is engaged in the space, loves the space, knows the space, is trying stuff in the space, is super knowledgeable and also super humble about it. And you know what? Is just happy to share that. So thank you so much for this episode. It's been amazing.
Thank you. I just love you guys, and like try to engage with all of your content, and like try to make some time to look forward to them. And also, John and we watched so many of your shows when the ATT came up. So it was super helpful. You saved our lives. Like,
wow.
Because the people that came and said,
the invoice is in the mail, buddy. The invoice is in the mail.
I'm tempted to do this sort of thing here. See, John, it's all this. It's all this.
And also, thank you guys for the opportunity. That's nice to like catching up with you and meeting up with you.
Mert, my side as well. Great to have you. Great learnings. Also humor. I can see you're into it. I mean, it's 8 p.m. in Turkey. There you are in the office, full of coffee, and all your work is in the background. Can't tear yourself away. Great to have you.
And thank you to all listeners. We really do appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying it. Let us know on social if you are.
And let us know if you want to come, and we'll have you on the show. If you're a mobile hero or you know of someone who is, then fill out the interest form over at shorturl.at/JKSKT.
Also, Liftoff has a Slack for mobile heroes and people in the mobile ecosystem. There's a link on the screen, and if you're listening to the podcast, it's at info.liftoff.io/Slack-signup. It's pretty cool. There's smart people there, and you know what? They probably need you too.
And you have probably been completely blown away by all the insights on this show, and you want your transcript, and you can have it because the transcripts are over at Liftoff's website. Go to liftoff.io, click on Heroes, and then click on Podcast.
I actually personally love transcripts because I read way faster than people talk. So that's a great way to get insights really, really quickly. Until next time, this is John Katsir. Thank you so much for joining.
And this is Peggy Ann Saltz signing off for Mobile Heroes Uncensored.